Okay, so today we're going to be looking at all my Neca Arnold Schwarzeneggers. So let's check them out. Okay, so my volume may still sound a little bit off. I haven't got a new microphone yet. So, like I said, my old microphone won't work with my new phone, so yeah, it's another problem with itself. But like I said, maybe I can get that fixed pretty soon. But anyway, get back to the video. This is the first Arnold figure that I ever got. This is the Final Battle Dutch that came with, it was in a 2-pack with the Battle Damage Predator. And which is on my shelf. I didn't get it down because I didn't have to move all the other Predators because it's behind a bunch of others. But when I do a review on this 2-pack, you'll see it too. But as you can see, this is basically just bare bones Dutch. From the others, he doesn't have the vest like the other ones. He's missing the belt and everything. He pretty much just shirtless Dutch. You can see all his ripped muscles there and everything, which looks really cool. He's got blood all down his chest and everything. Well, my Terminator just fell over that bounced, but as you can see, he's got blood all down his arms, down his hands, down his trigger finger there, everything. He's got his watch still. And this figure is painted like in a kind of a gloss, which works because he's kind of wet and sweaty, I guess, so it makes it look like he fell in the water and everything. His pants are also kind of like a muddy, like, wash over too. It makes it look like his pants are wet and, got mud on them still. So that's a pretty nice detail and everything. Like I said, I'll go into more detail when I review this. So that was my first Arnold figure. Now, I can't remember what was my second one. I just remember that was my first one. But I'll go kind of in order here. Now, this one is the Dutch from Predator. I can't remember. I think it's called Jungle Encounter Dutch. No, I think that was the other one. I think this is Jungle Battle Dutch. I can't remember what his name was, but this one's where he's covered in the mud and everything. And this is actually a really cool figure. It's one of my favorites. He's got a lot of details, like on his, you can see like the leaves and the mud and stuff stuck to and everything. He's got a lot of cool sculpting and everything. The torch, as you can see, kind of gives it character to the way it's, where it's going off like this way. It gives it a lot of character. He came with new accessories too that other previous Dutches didn't. All the other previous Dutches before this had a lot of the same accessories. This one's got new accessories like a torch, spear with the same knife tip and everything. So he used his knife mixed spear, which makes sense. But it's got the bow and the arrows. The arrows are actually my thing over here. I keep my accessories in because I can't really store them on them. But like I said, pretty cool figure. This is probably one of my favorite ones in my collection. So the next Dutch I have here, this one is called the Jungle Encounter Dutch. And I'm only missing 2 Dutches from this collection. I'm missing the Thermal Dutch, which is basically this figure in thermal colors. I'm missing the Jungle Patrol Dutch, where he was kind of basically in this form, but he had the camouflage sleeveless shirt on underneath the vest. This one doesn't have that, because this is the point of the movie where, he gets pursued by the Predator and, he falls off the cliff into the water and everything. But, as you can see, this is the movie poster version too. It's kind of like I got him in that pose, kind of mimic the poster of the movie. Unfortunately, the barrel, I have a lot of problem with these, the barrel getting broke on these, because sometimes they topple over and then they land on the barrel and snap it off, so that's aggravating. But as you can see, basically, this is the same figure mold as that one, just, painted differently. It's got the vest and the belt and everything, his knife, his Desert Eagle and his holster there, so pretty cool figure there. Now, this one may have been my second Dutch because I liked this figure. This is, I think it's called Jungle Extraction Dutch. So this is the way he appeared at the very beginning of the movie. As you can see, because he's got the like sleeve shirt on underneath this one. That's the same mold would have been used for the other one. I don't have the Patrol Dutch, but I do. I guess I have this one. This is got the big brown shirt like he first wore in the movie. He's got the brown vest on his vest. Changes colors throughout the movie, which is kind of inconsistent. This one's got a cigar in his mouth, which is really cool. He's got this gun is actually went with that Shane Black figure. I forgot what that character's name was, but I stuck it in there so it fit in the holster. But the gun it came with didn't fit the holster too good. I like that gun there anyway, but the 1911 there, I prefer it. But he's got the big knife that he threw when he said stick around. So it was a pretty cool one-liner. He's got the other knife there. But the same knife Billy used in the movie when he went to face off the Predator, which did not end well for him. But see, this is probably one of my favorite Dutch figures right here. And for the last of my Dutch figures, I have this one right here, which is called Jungle Briefing Dutch. Now, this Dutch was a Comic Con exclusive. I forgot what year, but you see, it's got the same head sculpt with the cigar in his mouth, which looks cool. It looks like it's lit till the end of his arm, so that's really cool. And as you can see, he got the red polo he wore at the beginning of the movie when he met with the Colonel played by R.G. Armstrong. And now, unfortunately, my figure here has a problem with his arm. It doesn't want to stay popped in the socket. I have tried to mash this thing so many times it just will not pop in the joint. I don't know why, but as long as he stays very still, you don't touch him, it'll stay on. But as you can see, it's mostly the same sculpt as the other Dutches. Got the same pants, same straps, everything, same boots, all black instead of green on those. So he did come with some pretty cool accessories. I don't have him holding it. It's hard to get him to hold them out in problems. So that's one reason why I didn't get him out. But when I review this figure, I'll show all that. So this is all my Dutch figures from Predator. You can see him. There you go. So that's all the Dutch figures I have in Predator. So I'm only missing 2, so maybe I get those, complete the collection there. Now, this other figure, though, this is technically the same mold as these, but it's not, from Predator. This is John Matrix from Commando, 1985, which was 2 years before Predator, which I really like. This movie. It's one of my favorite Arnold movies ever. It's one I can watch a lot, and I was really excited when they announced this figure because, I really like this movie. That was a Commando figure they made back in the 80s. Unfortunately, I do not have that figure. And as you can see, this figure does not disappoint. He's obviously he's the same mold as Dutch. I mean, he wore very similar stuff, except the vest was different and everything. But I mean, it makes sense because he's the same mold. Although you see, the holster is different. He does come with the same pistol. If I can get it out, which is a Desert Eagle. Which is something I wouldn't carry in that kind of situation because they're big and they're gawky. But for 80s stuff, it was cool. They did next. It was cool looking, I guess. But see, he's got the RPK, which is what he used. He also came with an M60 that he also used. He's also got the same. Let me move his arm out of the way. He's got the same knife that came with Dutch, except it's got a green handle now, and the sheath's on the front of his vest like it was in Commando. Which, those 80s survival knives, I got one similar to that. Those were bad to handle to break off. You try to baton them because there's no tang in the handle because they made the handle hollow to, you could store like survival kit stuff in. So that made a stability problem. So like I said, those are more for looks, I guess, than the actual survival stuff. But like I said, I got one because they look cool in the movies and everything. So that is John Matrix. I really about this figure. It's probably one of my favorite ones too. I remember I got this for Christmas one year. I think maybe I know I was in middle school when I got this figure, so I can't remember what year, but I know I have his packaging still, and the packaging still has Christmas paper on the back, so I know it was a Christmas present. So okay, so now on my Terminator figure, I'm gonna start with Genesis here. I have the T100 Pops, which I don't think I've reviewed this one yet, but he came with an alternate arm on the left side. He's got his whole arm and everything. Unfortunately, the joint ripped on the handle of that arm, so it came off, and so that's unfortunate. But that's one reason why I displayed him this way in his battle damage form, because he's already got damage on the shirt. He came with the undamaged head, but I put the battle damaged head on there, which I think it looks cool. You got the endoskeleton sticking out underneath and everything, which looks really cool. You got the arm where John had, ripped his arm off, so it's got that part of the endoskeleton sticking out there. Really cool stuff. And as you can see, he's got the shotgun, which I think this is a Benelli shotgun. And unfortunately, the strap broke on mine there, as you can see. It wants to flop out in the way. But this is a Benelli semi-automatic shotgun, which looks really cool. Now, he can't really hold it in a shooting pose because it's his hand is made for the other shotgun, for the other figure I'll show you in a minute. So you gotta hold it at a downward angle, so you can't really get a good shooting pose with it. But so that's the T100 Pops figure. Yeah, it's an okay figure. I like it. It's not my favorite, but it's not what I think of when I think of the Terminator. But it's a pretty cool addition. Now this one I have reviewed. This is the T100 Guardian. Now this is what he appeared in the movie where the original Terminator traveled back, and then he killed it for it. Went on this mission like in the original. And as you can see, this is kind of Arnold, he's aged more. The T-100 Pops was more like he looks now, but they kind of made him look kind of younger, but he's still kind of older right here. And as you can see, he's got the shotgun, which his hand was more made for, as you can see. Which this is a Remington semi-automatic shotgun, which, believe it or not, in the movie The Last Stand, Arnold used the same exact shotgun again in that movie. So I thought that was kind of neat. They reused the same shotgun in 2 different movies. But as you can see, I actually like this figure, and he's not, his outfit's not as iconic as the other ones, but it's still pretty cool though. And I liked the Genesis. It wasn't the best Terminator movie, but it was okay, Okay, so now going to T2, which T2 is one of my favorite Terminator movies of all time. I have this one right here, which is the 3D version of the Ultimate figure. I don't have the Ultimate version because I'll show you why in just a minute, but this is basically the Ultimate figure, but painted. He's got the black shirt, everything, like kind of at the beginning of the movie. He came with shotgun. Unfortunately, I misplaced the shotgun. I gotta find it, but and I just seen it the other day somewhere. I just gotta find it again, but got the sunglasses head on, which this figure, it looks really cool. Now this figure, his ankles are something horribly loose. I don't know what it is about his ankles, but they just will not. They want to buckle for some reason. I don't know what it is, but as you can see, pretty cool figure. I like this figure. It's got the really awesome jacket, like what I think of with Terminator. See, there's his ankles went again. So like I said, pretty cool figure. Those ankles are just horrific. I don't know what's wrong with them. Okay, so this one right here is probably one of my favorites right here. And this figure is why I didn't buy the Ultimate version, but this is the Cyberdyne Showdown version. Now, this is basically what the Ultimate figure is based on. It came with a bunch of other accessories that didn't protect this figure, like the sunglasses heads he had. He did with the sunglasses with a great shirt. In T2, his look is constantly changing. It's hard to capture his look with it all in one figure because it's constantly changing, because he only wore the sunglasses with the black shirt. And, then he got the, with the battle damage head they included with the Ultimate version. He had, before that happened, he had damage to the chest and his, arm and everything. So, like I said, it's hard to capture the look in all one figure from T2. But like I said, this is the Cyberdyne Showdown version. Now, this is an older figure that has pre-post legs. And like I said, I did review this figure, and I really like this one. This is one that came with the minigun. It looks really cool on the shelf. I bought this used at a flea mall up in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, I believe. I can't remember what I paid for him, but I got a pretty good deal on him. And that's why I never did buy the Ultimate figure, because I got this one. And this figure, it does fine for me. He just looks really cool. It's probably one of my favorites. These older Terminator figures have a lot better paint apps too than some of the new Ultimate ones. I guess we sacrifice paint apps for articulation. But like I said, he one of my favorite figures in my collection. See, that's another problem with this figure. It's hard to get everything to stay. Only wants to slide off. So I guess I'll slide him right there. And see, it slid off again. So, okay. Now for the very original, I'll start with this one first. This is the Tech Noir version. As you can see, it's got the gray field jacket with the chain on the shoulder there. You can actually buy replicas of this field jacket too. But as you see, this field jacket is very 80s. It's got the studs all over the back and on the which sleeve, I can't remember. Oh, yeah, right there. And he's got the chain hanging off his arm. Very 80s looking. I mean, this came out in 84, so that's, makes sense. So he's got the awesome, 45 long slide with laser sighting, the 1911 with the AMT hardballer is what it's called, with the laser scope. You can actually buy replicas of these, which I would love to own one of these. It's really cool. It's not really practical, but it's just something that's really, really cool. Now in the movie, you can actually see a cord going into a sleeve to power the laser scope, because back then they didn't have batteries small enough to power it, without running a cord down a sleeve to a battery and everything. Nowadays you can get batteries small enough. We don't have to do that, but I thought that was pretty neat. Like I said, one of my favorite guns from the movie. He also came with an Uzi, which he did use in the nightclub. And he also came with the pump shotgun that he took from the patrol car when he stole the car from the cop. So like I said, yeah, the Uzi 9mm is what he said. And he said not a whole lot of paint apps on it though. The Terminator weapons, they lacked a lot of paint apps. That's one thing I didn't like about these. They fixed that problem with the Dutch figures. So that's the Techno War version. Now, my favorite version from the first movie is probably this one right here. Now, this is the PlayStation Assault version. Now, this one he's got a different shirt on. The bottom is basically the same. As you can see, the same boots, same pants, and everything. But the top half is different. He's got different gloves on. He's got a different shirt. He's got a gray shirt instead of that pattern T-shirt. He also got a different jacket. Instead of the gray field jacket, he's now wearing a black leather biker jacket, which is a staple for the Terminator. And I like this jacket because I have a jacket that is almost identical to this one too, I believe it or not. And that's a little bit different. It's not exactly the same because mine's got the things that snap on the shoulders too, and the belt don't go all the way around on mine either. But as you see, like I said, I just really like this jacket because it just looks really cool. It looks like one I got. And he's got two guns. He's got the AR-18 with the longer extended mag and a taped together dual mag, which is the AR-18 was also made by Armalite. It was a kind of a cheaper version of the AR-15 that had a stamp receiver and everything. They didn't take all of it good, but yeah, he's also got the Spaz 12 shotgun, as you can see there, which is a really cool shotgun. That's something I'd like to have too. But these you can, like the guy said in the movie, you could go pump or auto, which is something you can actually do with those, which is really cool. Now, believe it or not, I can't. In Black Ops 6, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, AR-18 actually made a appearance in that game, so that's one thing I liked about that. I thought that was cool. Now, I don't know if the Spaz 12 was in Black Ops 6, but I know it was in Black Ops Cold War, because I remember using it in that game. It was quite often, which was really cool. Now, the stock, they had actually made it where you could shoot through the sides of the stock, which is incorrect. You can't actually aim with the sides of the stock folded up on the gun in real life. That's something they did for the game. But as you can see, really cool. Probably one of my favorite figures that I have of my Terminator collection. So if we'll see some more overviews of other collections that I have. Like I said, I'll go through and probably review all of these eventually. But like I said, some of these I've already reviewed. But like I said, I'll go. All of them will have a review eventually. So you want to see some more overviews like this? Give me a thumbs up to help me a lot, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Till next time.